Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. As I've been saying last little while, I'm kind of backlogged on beer, and it's even getting worse now. Basically, I get my regular beer club beers, and I had a friend come home from Victoria, BC, brought me back 4 or 5 beers. I had my other buddy came back from Vancouver, brought me back a couple of beers, and I was away for a couple of days, and I drove by a new brewery, so I had to pick up a few beers there. So I'm going to do another one of beer roulette. Basically, I'm going to put my hand in the fridge, whatever I get, that's what I'll do the review on. Alright, so, I got the box of beer there. I got beers in the box, in the door, everywhere. So, the beer I grab. Alright, this is actually one of the ones that I got in my latest beer club. It's from the Ottawa Valley Whitewater Brewing Company. Icebreaker Brut IPA, B-R-U-T. 5%, and honestly I'm not quite sure what a Brut IPA is. On the can it says water, malted barley, hops, yeast. It says every spring when the weather starts to warm, brave and eager paddlers head out to break ice on the river. This light-bodied beer is very dry with strong hop aroma and flavor. Icebreaker Brut IPA is just as mighty as the Ottawa River. And with the beer club, with the beers, I get a little newsletter, tells me a little bit about the brewery and the beer. So this one, let's see, Whitewater. It says Whitewater Brewing Company was founded by 3 good friends in 2011 on the banks of the mighty Ottawa River. The 3 of us have had many adventures that have taken us from the incredible rivers of Ontario and Quebec to the mountain-fed creeks of British Columbia, from the deep canyons of the Colorado River to the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. One constant that has remained strong throughout this journey is our return to the heart of the Ottawa Valley to share great adventures with our great friends. Our empathy came on a rafting trip. The Ottawa Valley was already home to some of the best natural ingredients involved in creating true handcrafted beer, as well as great people deserving of a local beer to share with friends. Whitewater Brewing Company was conceived. The next 3.5 years took a lot of hard work, learning, and living out our vehicles to get where we are today. And as for the beer today, they also gave a little bit. Actually, I think this is pretty well exactly what was on the can. Every spring when the weather starts to warm, brave and eager paddlers head out to break ice on the river. This light-bodied beer is very dry with strong hop aroma and flavor. Icebreaker Brut IPA is just as mighty as the Ottawa River. I've said it before, originally I wasn't an IPA fan. IPA beers are normally kind of bitter, really hoppy, and I wasn't a big fan of that, but I find lately I almost get a craving for IPAs, so I guess my beer palate is becoming more refined. So we'll find out how this one is. Now I've already given my glass a quick cold water rinse. If anybody isn't familiar with IPAs, Indian Pale Ale, basically the story behind them is the British were in India and the soldiers are there, and like all soldiers they want beer. But the problem was the pale ale was being shipped from England, but by the time it got to India it pretty well went skunky. So what they did, they added extra hops as a preservative, which made the beer last the journey, and IPAs were born. Like I said, if you're not a craft brewer, like if you're like myself, you grew up on, your big breweries, your Labatt's, Budweiser's, whatever, it takes a bit of a while getting used to IPAs because they're really hoppy. This one I just poured and I can smell the hops from here. Yeah, it's pretty strong hop aroma so far. Almost like a straw color. Definitely not clear, but that's common with many craft beers in that they don't filter the beers. Nice white head. Once again, a strong hop aroma. How's it taste? That's a big thing. Can't give a... No, honestly, just then I tasted the foam, that's it, and it's pretty hoppy. And like I said, probably a year ago that would have turned me off, but I'm actually starting to crave IPAs. And I don't know if crave is a correct word, but I get a hankering for them. And that one is tastes as hoppy as it smells. And once again, I'm not quite sure. Like there's different IPAs. You get American IPAs, British IPAs, and then for the American you get Northeastern IPAs and whatnot. So this one is a Brut IPA, B-R-U-T, and quite honestly I'm not quite sure what that refers to, so if anybody knows, by all means let us know in one of the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, by all means subscribe. And if you're not in the Facebook group, I'd love for you to join there too. And honestly, after this, I'll Google Brut IPA just to find out what it is. But okay, I have to give it a rating. And that is really hopping. Like I said, a year ago that would have turned me right off, but I'm starting to enjoy IPAs. So I have to give it a rating out of 5, with a 1 being a drain pour, don't like it, can't finish it. I'm literally going to pour it down the drain. A 2 is like, yeah, I'm not a fan, but I don't want to waste my beer. A 3 is a good beer, a 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 would be the best beer ever. Although I do find myself enjoying IPAs, I wouldn't say they're my go-to beer. For the most part, I'd take a lager over an ale, but I am starting to enjoy the IPAs a lot more. Rating-wise, I'm thinking probably a 3, maybe a 3.5. Still got to take another sip or two. I still get a kick out of it. Like I said, a year ago this would have turned me right off, but now I'm actually enjoying it. So that being said, for the Whitewater Brut IPA from the Ottawa Valley, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. So that's in between good and very good. And as I said, I have a backlog of beers. My beer club keeps coming. I can't keep up. I have some great friends that travel. They bring me back beer. So probably do a couple extra ones for the next little while. Try to catch up. So there you go, folks. Once again, 3.5. Until next brew, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.